Hello, everyone. It's time for Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 401, season 17. Today's date is January 6, 2024, and welcome to the show. Yes, it's a new season. I'm looking forward to it. Excuse my hoarseness. I still have my cold, but I'm much better today than I was the past couple of days. I sounded horrible. I still feel horrible. But I'll do the best I can. So just pardon me. Do what I can. So on today's program, I'm going to talk about a TV show a lot of people have forgotten, but I remembered it. It was called The Bubblegum Digest, and that was a news show that aired in the mid-1970s on WMAQ TV, Channel 5 in Chicago. That aired on sometimes Saturday and Sunday, so I'll explain about the show, and its history and the kids that were involved with that show. Also, I'll talk about the Treasure Chest store that was located on West Randolph Street in the Chicago Loop. Very interesting place. I remember seeing this when I was a kid, walking by, and when I visited downtown. So I'll explain about that store. Right now, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Hold Cough Drops. I could use some now. My throat's kind of scratchy. And this commercial is from 1980. So sit back and relax, and I'll be right back with the show, folks. Thank you.
Order in the court.
Take Hold.
No cough drops. I need cough medicine.
Hold is cough medicine.
I can taste the medicine.
Hold is better than cough drops. Hold has dextromethorphan, the same strong medicine as leading cough syrups, to fight coughs up to 4 hours.
And so, ladies and gentlemen of the jury...
Your verdict?
Hold is strong cough medicine. Hardly coughed in 4 hours.
Hold and Children's Hold, better than leading cough drops.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Hold Cough Drops. I remember this product, it was introduced like maybe 79 or 80. I remember in high school, they had the display with the Hold. It looked like a little, not a little one, like a chapstick, and it had the lozenges in there. And they were gold wrapped, golden wrapped like that. And I remember buying these, and they did work, but it held your cough for 4 hours. Okay. Well, we have Halls for that. They do work sometimes, So, if you have honey, it's good for your throat. And I don't know how long this product lasts. Maybe about a couple of years. And that was it. I don't know what happened. I guess competition killed it. That's what I assume. Okay. At the beginning of the program, I mentioned I'm going to talk about the television show Bubblegum Digest. It was a news program that aired on WMAQ TV, Channel 5 in Chicago in the mid-1970s. Also, I'll talk about the Treasure Chest shop that was located on West Randolph Street in Chicago. Before I get started, I want to mention a couple of things. One, I've been sick for a couple of days. I've had a bad cold. On my last program, I didn't sound so good, but I managed to do my 400th episode. It was a milestone, but turned out okay. I'm a little better now today. So I'm resting, taking medicine, just relax. I'm still fatigued. Next, here's an health update. I will start my second chemotherapy next Tuesday. And I'll see the doctor then and take some blood. I have some blood taken, that is. Excuse me. Not I will have blood. So we'll see how that goes. I hope it's not worse than the first one. Yeah, the first one's fine, but we'll see. I'm kind of scared about that. Okay. Right now we're going to talk about the TV show Bubblegum Digest. And I said before, a lot of people don't remember this show. Maybe it was due to the fact that it aired on the weekends. It aired on Saturday and sometimes Sunday, what that show was, it was like a news program, only there were no adults presenting the news. They were children that did that. And they would talk about any news that's happening in Chicago, mostly. Nothing political. I don't think so. Not like today. Or, that's we're bombarded by that every day. So I won't go into that. But it was just like local news or like people who had interesting careers or interesting places in Chicago, like we have now. We have programs like that. So that was a novel idea. So I'll give you the history of this TV show, okay? So let's see what we got here. All right. So here's an article from the Chicago Tribune, published March 25th, 1976. It said here, the program debuted, let's see, Thursday, so it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, March 27th, 1976. So that's when it debuted. And it looked like News Center 5, if you remember how Channel 5 News, the way it looked in the 70s, if you remember Jane Pauley, Chuck Henry, Jim Ruddle. There was also, who was the weatherman was Jim Tillman. I don't know who did the sports. I think Greg Gumbel did that, who just passed away. And it looked like that. So, let's see. So the kids during the week, not during the week, but they also interview people and celebrities, which is great. That's good news. And then, Bubblegum Digest, it was about, I don't know if it's a half an hour show or I think it was a half hour show. And it started airing Sunday mornings at 11 on Channel 5. Then it moved to Saturday, I think about a year later. So it ran from 1976 all the way to 1978. So it was only on for a couple of years. And the show was put together by just kids. And they wrote down the features, like they cover politics. Of course, I failed to mention that. They did politics, sports, drama, movies, fine arts, books, science, health, ecology, education, and general features, like for example, the fads that were going on, gossip, and then complaints. So yeah, it's like watching the news today. So let's see, and there were two kids. If I find the real names, let's see, her name was Allison Johnson. She was 11 at the time. And there was a young man. His name was H.L. Sillets. And also there was a political analyst. His name was Jacob Weisberg. And a book reviewer. Her name was Laura Repress. These kids were about 10 or 11. Awfully young to do stuff like that. I never did stuff like that. So here's a list of the kids. Well, there were a lot of them, so I'm not going to read them. So there were about 60 people. Some were mini reporters. Some worked behind the scenes. I'm sure there were adults that did that. The only problem with the program was money. They had to make a budget. And back then, the co-anchors made $50 a show, and the reporters made $25 an appearance. So when they appeared, they made $25. Very interesting indeed. So let's see. So there was a woman, I think she created, her name was Diane Bloomgarden. That's a woman's name. And excuse me. So this covered, kids who are old enough to understand the show, but but they also there to explain to you what is going on in the world like that. And, the kids seem so very, very smart, very gifted, and that's wonderful, and very influential to do stuff like that. Let's see. So, and then there was another kid. His name was Adam Gross. He took over H.L. Sillets because he was 14 years old. I think he went to high school, and then he took over his place. I think they did that. But I think Allison Johnson was there she presented the news, and she was very smart like that. Okay, so let's see. So anyway, the show, and then according to the article, she just wanted to be a surgeon. I don't know if she followed that dream. I don't know where she is now. I hope she's listening to the to the podcast like that. Anyway, the show went off the air around August 31st, so it was like late August 1978. So it only ran about 2 years. And I think it's the reason was money. Yeah, they didn't have a budget for that, which is a shame because I watched a couple episodes on YouTube. And I loved it. I really did. It was very informative. The kids did an outstanding job, and it was very interesting. And you can view episodes on YouTube. There's about maybe 4 or 5. They were saved by Rick Klein from Fuzzy TV Memories, the Museum of Chicago Television. He provided that. So, right now, I'm going to play the introduction of Bubblegum Digest. I hope I can find it and then put it. If not, then it'll be the next segment over, and I'll talk about the treasure chest. So, I'll do my best. So, here's the introduction of Bubblegum Digest. Let me see the year just quickly. This is from February 11th, 1978. Okay. I hope you can recognize the theme song. I did immediately. So that was fun. So here's the theme song for Bubblegum Digest that aired on Channel 5, WMAQ TV in Chicago. And I'll be right back to talk about the treasure chest. Thank you.
Today on Bubblegum Digest, we'll visit the White Pines Deer Park in Oregon, Illinois.
And we'll find out all about a sport that's played on ice using brooms.
Bubblegum Digest, telling you all in the world that's new. Bubblegum Digest, bringing the news to you.
Bubblegum Digest with Allison Johnson, Adam Gross, and the Bubblegum Digest team.
Bubblegum Digest, bringing the news to you.
The Rosner-Hickson Laboratory has admitted that they made mistakes when they tested meals used for the National School Lunch Program.
Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction of Bubblegum Digest. I hope if there's a problem, it will just go to the next segment. But I'm sure I'm going to have the theme song there. And it is courtesy of Rick Klein of Fuzzy TV Memories, for the Museum of Chicago Television. Thank you, Rick. Right now, I'm going to talk about the Treasure Chest store. Oh, this one, I remember the sign when I was a kid. So I couldn't find much information of it, but I found it under a website. It's the, what's that called? The Digital Research Library of Illinois History Journal, and that's by Dr. Neil Gale. I don't know what happened to him. He was on Facebook a lot, but now he disappeared. So I hope he's okay. He's very nice. So he did some research on this this place, and so let's see what we got here. So I'm going to read off what it says here. So it says here, it's the history of Bears. It's spelled Baer, and it's the Bears Treasure Chest. It was a arcade and magic shop. So in November of 1949, Bobby Bear opened his magic store, Bear's Treasure Chest. So it was a magic store then, and the location was 19 West Randolph Street, across the street from the Oriental Theater in downtown. I don't know if it's the original one. I keep forgetting. Anyway, so this was it was 2 stories, and then you entered the in front of the building. They had like the neon lights, and it said Chicago's Magic Center, and it sold books, records, souvenirs, toys, all kinds of good stuff. They had a game room where you played pinballs, probably skeet ball or something like that. Yeah, skeet balls. They had that. They had a shooting gallery, a lot of pinballs, and a lot of arcades. So that a lot of fun. So I guess when kids went downtown, they had something to do. They played like that. And according to the article, in the 1960s and 70s, that was a hangout for Navy cadets on the pass from Fort Sheridan. That's north of Highland Park. I don't know why. I don't understand. So, first they didn't have pinballs, but there was something going on with politics, and then they banned them, but now they came back like in the mid-70s, so that's good. So it was the only place, excuse me for sniffing like that. It was the only arcade that was licensed by In the Loop, like that. Now, there was a famous person who got his mark in television, and his famous was Marshall Brodeen, Wizzo, and he started performing or just demonstrating magic at the treasure chest. And he did this upstairs on the second floor, and there's a picture of him doing that. What an amazing man, and he entertained thousands of people like that. And then, of course, he made guest appearances on Bozo's Circus, and he did that for many, many years. Still made me laugh like that. Okay, let's see. What else? Of course, he's famous for his magic, the games Magic Tricks, Magic Cards, and all that. And Magic Cards were first released in November 1969. And then the Magic Show was released in 72. And he also opened a magic shop in old Chicago, the indoor shopping mall and amusement park in Bolingbrook. And let's see what else. And let's see what else we got here. So they had a lot of arcades and skee balls and all that. I love pinball machines. They really did. Oh, they also had Halloween masks. Just in time if you want to buy a mask, or like wigs, beards, feet, teeth, anything you want. So the address was 19 West Randolph Street. The phone number was RA62100. That was before that. In the 1960s, they were open like 7 days a week until midnight. So it was, excuse me. So it was open all the time. According to the Tribune, they have a second location in Niles. It was a 9252 Milwaukee Avenue. I didn't know that. By 1980, the hours were changed, and they were open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. midnight on Friday and Saturday, and then Sunday 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. And they said, and then they had a sign over there that said Fun City, but it wasn't Fun City. It was called the Treasure Chest, and so a lot of people assume it was that. My memories of this place was I used to commute downtown, or I went to DeVry on the way there. I take the blue line, to take the L line. Then I used to walk by Randolph Street, and I saw the treasure chest. And you know what? It got a little seedy after that. They had like trashy novels, like that, like in the old, like in the 50s or 60s, like that. Even today, they had that. So I guess they brought out clientele, different kind of clientele. But it was the adult section like that. I'm sure it was there because I remember seeing that. Or it could have been another store. I'm not sure. Anyway, so the treasure chest closed in 1985. And it had a fire. I don't know if it was suspicious. I don't know. And so that was the end of that. As for Bobby Bare, I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he's still alive. I could look him up and see. Probably not. So I'll keep talking. Anyway, so that was a very interesting store. That is. And a lot of people had great memories of visiting or buying things or playing there, especially pinball machines. They were right about the, what's that? And about, sailors hanging around like that. So let's see about this. If there's some more information. I can't find anything what happened to him. I guess he passed away. So that was the end of that. Which is a shame, So, it was kind of sleazy in a way like that, but it was fun. But, sometimes you need a little escapism. I'm sorry. I try not to cough. I try not to laugh because I'll start coughing. So that's pretty much about the treasure chest, that it was operated by Bobby Bare. So that's it for this show. So I'll do a recap of what I talked about. I talk about the television series, children's television series, that is, the Bubblegum Digest, that aired on WMEQ TV Channel 5 in Chicago in the mid-1970s. Also, the Treasure Chest store that was located at 17 West Randolph Street in the Chicago Loop. All right. This podcast will be published later on today, wherever podcasts are available. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast, Amazon Music, Good Pods, whatever. If you have those apps on your phone or your tablet, just tap on them. Tap following, you will get the latest notification. You can also listen to previous podcast episodes if you like. Also be shared on my blog, vanishingchicagoland.blog. You can click on the link. It'll take you right there to listen. You can listen to previous ones if you like. Same as always. Also on my YouTube channel, again and again, people ask me, where do I find your podcast? Where do I find your podcast? You can find it on YouTube under Vanish Chicagoland Stories or my name, Pete Costanas. Just tap subscribe. Doesn't cost anything. You can listen to previous episodes if you like. Whenever you have time. They're all there. All 400 of them. Also be shared on my social media accounts, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, Reddit, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and TikTok. So you will find all of them. That was fun. What a great way to start the season. And I'm glad I chose those. So these were very special to me. Okay, so this is Pete Costanas, your host for Vanish Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. I had a great time. Today is cold. Just stay warm. I'm staying in. I have a cold. I got to stay in and just relax. So here's bye-bye for me, and here is a little traveling music from our good friend, Ray Rayner, saying bye, bye, bye. Take care, everyone, and so long.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.